Gender-based violence, according to what I know, is violence that is perpetrated to people because of their gender.
Okay.
Yes. Now nasikhuluma ngayo in the South African context though. Sikhuluma nge-situation where indoda mostly or wesilisa ahlukumeda lo wesifazane. I yes, we look at it ngaleyo ndlela ukuthi it's a gender based, but mina I see ukuthi there are criminal elements that are there, and there's some issues of anger management that are part of that, and other things. It is not really about gender per se. It's about relationships. The way I see it, it's relationships. They break down on those relationships. They come to the point where people fight and people then kill one another and things like that. But yes, since in the South African context, that on its own, it's called gender-based violence.
Mfundisi, you are mentioning very, I think, important points. You're mentioning criminal activities. You are also mentioning anger issues. Let's start there. If you say that there's some criminal elements in it, what do you mean?
I mean situations where sorry, you find that a woman is being raped by an unknown person. Or they are being robbed and then killed, and it happens to men as well, but we because we are a little bit sensitive when it comes to
women,
when that criminal element is perpetrated to women, we become sensitive and sibesifanele, because it is happening that women are being, it looks kwangathi women are being butchered by men. So even if it's a criminal element that is taking place, we still take it as a gender-based violence. Whereas because now when we're speaking about gender-based violence, gender-based violence, it has to speak to the intention of the perpetrator. Is this person perpetrating this violence to the victim because she is a woman, or this person is just a criminal doing whatever that is doing, or it's a person who is angry because the relationship is not going their way and all those things. But then we will still say it's gender-based violence because we want to push that narrative and get the attention and maybe try and solve the problem. But when you look at it at the core, you, in some of the incidents that we hear all around, we do not find that these women were killed because they were women. In some of them, not all of them, but in some of them, we find that they were killed because there were some disputes or disagreements and things like that that took place between the two people, and then the stronger ended up killing the weaker, which is unfortunate. It's actually, I think I must say that it is wrong. It is uncalled for.
Yes.
No person has to die at the hands of another person, regardless of the gender. Yes.
But I want us to unpack it issue by issue, if possible.
Yes.
Now, we spoke about the criminal, because why I'm saying issue by issue before I can explain, because I've got this narrative that says if you want to deal with an issue into its totality, go into the root cause, like and we know now if let's call it criminality. You've mentioned that it most happen when women are being robbed, women are being hijacked by known or unknown people. Now, within the criminal sector and the criminal procedures, why that on its own cannot be treated as a criminal activity on its own, then but be clustered with gender-based violence. You understand? Because as I said, it's a criminal issue, which means there's a criminal procedure that should be able to take place after such has been conducted.
Look, the gender-based violence or any or femicide, it is a criminal
on its own
offense on its own.
Okay.
And then it is treated as such.
Okay.
In the issues of law.
Okay.
It is treated as a criminal offense in any case. But then comes the issue of us trying to deal with the problems that we are facing, which are problems of gender-based violence. The more cases that we can use to show the way gender-based violence is stronger in South Africa at the moment, the better. So that is why every time when something like this happens, when a woman is found being killed, we say gender-based violence. But the reality there would be, until we find the intention, we cannot classify this as a gender-based violence actually. But then we do it like that in South Africa, and there's nothing wrong with that per se. But I think we do need at some point to look at this thing and see the truth in it, instead of seeing what we want to see. A problem lesnayo, as you say, when we deal with issues, it is better to deal with the root instead of just the fruits. So now we need to look at why is these things happening? What is causing all these things in our country, and anyway in humanity at large? What is causing the disagreements between men and women? Why does it look like we are at war? Why does it look like men are killing women heartlessly for no reason at all? Why does it appear to be like that? We do need to look into that, because until we take away the veil, or no, let me not say the veil, until we take away the masks that we are wearing when dealing with these issues, we will not see the issues as they are. Because I can tell you now, the fact that we are saying that there are criminal elements, there are relationships problems that causes a disagreement and then leading to the people dying. Some people are already thinking that we are not looking at the problem the way we should, and then maybe some people are already angry that we are highlighting those things, but we are not highlighting those things to say we shouldn't talk about gender-based violence, but we are highlighting those things as part of the problem. And therefore, when we deal with them, let's deal with them, all of them, and let us look at them and see them for what they are, rather than seeing them behind the masks that we are wearing.
Very, very interesting, Funis. One of the critical, also one of the most important facts that you are raising, Funis, you are raising a matter of intention. And someone who's watching there might say, how do we prove intention? But let's for example, now I kill a woman. How are you going to prove that my intention was to kill her or was not to kill her? It just accidentally it happened that I eventually killed her. So how do you prove an intent?
It's only unfortunate, Mfundisi, I would say. It's when we look at the issues of gender-based violence, we only look them in the way they appear in the media, rather than looking at them, going deeper and see how these issues are being dealt with in the court of law. Because then when we deal them in the court of law, it's when those questions, the questions that are so sensitive to us, when we ask them, those questions can be asked. You know, there are questions that you are not allowed to ask in South Africa today. When a woman has been raped or a woman has been killed, you're not allowed to ask those questions in the media to say, what really took place? Why did this person kill? the woman. Because until you ask that question, you will not know what is there, what took place, what happened. And then if you cannot understand what happened, you cannot clearly diagnose the problem. You understand? So we it's the masks that we are wearing that I'm talking about, to say now, because when we deal with these issues, we are always wearing our own masks, and therefore the questions to be asked are questions that should make me feel better. If the question challenges my ego, or if the question challenges what I think is the truth, automatically I start defend myself. I start defending myself, because now I think when you are out of line. You understand? But the thing is that truth is always hidden in those things that do not feel right to deal with. Because the truth is way deeper than what we see. Yes, there is a body of a woman that died. It's painful. Yes, we have issues where women are being killed. It's painful. Yes. But we do need to know what really is taking place, so that we can be able to understand and then find ways to deal with it. Again, let's say in Zaba, I'm working in the mines. Every small incident that takes place in mine, it gets investigated. And the reason they investigate it is because they want to find the root cause.
Yes.
And then when they find the root cause, then they can be able to say, how do we prevent it from happening
again?
You understand? So this issue is the same. We have to do the risk assessment very well and check what happened. Sorry, the risk assessment, the investigation. We have to do it very well to understand what happened, what led to this happening, and then what can we do to stop it from happening. Yes, singaya siyofaka ama-placards siye-court and show that we don't want this person to get bail and. But the reality is this: we need to find the truth to stop this thing from happening.
I'm happy that we are mentioning another important point: thorough investigation that will be able to detect or to tell us or to show us what really transpired. But the challenge that we're facing from this is that most victims are dead.
Yeah.
It's only now one voice of the person that is being arrested for that matter. And we don't know if he will be telling us the truth. Because, as you said, that the truth also, we must be prepared to hear it and to accept it.
Yeah.
And it becomes difficult where now it's only one party that is be able to stand and defend itself. Not blaming also. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but there's a statement that is going on for some time. Maybe you tell me if you've heard of it. That say, kungcono umbulale kuthi uyoma wedwa a case like a court than kuthi noma nobabili a court. Na umbulele at least kutawuvakala live la ngoba yena you may caught in a storm, which is painful, but I don't know how true it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever heard such a thing.
I did, yeah.
You know, and hence my question ukuthi such statements akusiloko futhi okubangela lo ukuthi I'm not saying ukuthi umuntu right ukuthi ambulale, let's say umuntu uyadlengula and amakhazi masemola ngiyadlengula then ngimdlula uyangibona, I thought akangiboni but now sekuyangibona, then I'd rather not ngimbulale, because in my mind will a statement less time was let me kill her, then I'll stand alone.
Yeah.
Mhlambe is self-defense. So these are the things that are happening, and of which nazo I believe that they contribute a lot in this gender-based violence thing. So sidlula njani mfundisi kule statements ukuthi the victim mostly they're dead. So the truth that we are not sure given singambuza now this guy what happened. And he can choose to tell us what exactly happened. And he can choose not to tell us.
True. Mfundisi kunzima ukudila ngale nto leyo. Murder is murder. I think we have to agree to that one.
True.
Murder is murder. If you kill the person, you kill the person. It's final. But Tsinelana, we are trying to sorry. We are trying to find out ukuthi kahle kahle why did the person kill? We want the intention, because the intention will tell us, is this a gender-based violence or this is something else? You understand? So unfortunately akasekho ke lo munye, so kunzima kudila ngaleyo issue leyo. At the end of the day, she was raped, she was killed. Somebody must be punished for that, right? We understand. We are not fighting with the issue of punishment. We're not fighting with the issue of for maximum jail sentence or whatever it is. But what we want to do, we want to get to the bottom of this, get to the root cause of as many as possible of these cases, so that we can understand what causes these things. Then if we do that, if we understand the cause, then we will then know the cause of action from there as to what do we do. Okay. At the stage, we will have our own thinking, maybe, to say, we think this is the problem, and we think this is how we can solve the problem. Maybe that can help, or it may help up to an extent, but we still do need to get to the root cause and say what really is taking place in South Africa today. And Mfundisi, I must say, would say, from where I stand, if I look at the behavior yebantfu labaningi, these problems are going to be with us for a very long time, because there are issues that we are not prepared to deal with.
Or to face.
Yeah, there are truths that we don't want to hear. And the reason for that is our ego. It's the mask that we are wearing. I don't want people to talk about certain things because they hit to the nerve. I don't want people to discuss certain issues because it's where I'm hiding. So they'll find me because I'm hiding behind those things. So every time when we deal with these issues, kuba egos at play, and then when the egos gets in, they prevent us from getting to the truth.